good morning this early morning. Some of us that are not used to this, but obviously you are because you're also happy. It looks so bright and bushy-tailed. We have a short agenda this morning, a couple of things we have discussed before and we have brought back to the dais to make a decision on, and there will be no need for executive session. So I want to announce that there's a quorum is present, and this notice of this meeting has been posted in the manner of time required by law. So let's go to the first item. All items are under personnel. The first one is an action item to approve early $250 for early notification of retirement. Dr.
Dr. Hensley's gonna.
Oh, thought we were voting?
That was quick.
Good morning, President Carbo, Dr. Rivera, members of our board. Administration would like to make a couple of requests of you this morning to action items. The first being an early retirement notification incentive pay. The purpose of this would be to support earlier staffing decisions for the 26-27 school year. And so administration is requesting that we offer a small incentive for early notice of retirement. Eligibility for this would be employees under a probationary term or continuing contract with valid certification and/or credentials, employees already planning to retire at the end of the 25-26 school year, and employees who previously submitted retirement notice after July 1st, 2025 for retirement effective on their last duty day of 25-26. So in other words, we know that there are some employees who may have already notified us that they intend to retire at the end of this school year, and so we would include them in that as long as they had notified us after July 1st of this school year. The incentive amount that we're requesting is $250, a one-time payment, and it would be paid on the employee's final June 2026 paycheck. That gives us the ability to verify everything before we pay it. Requirements and timeline include this being a voluntary unconditional resignation effective on the employee's last duty day of 25-26. We'll ask that they submit their resignation via Frontline and upload a required signed document. And the deadline for doing this to receive the incentive pay would be 4 p.m. on Friday, January 23rd, 2026. Are there any questions?
Is this just for retirements or is it also for residents?
It is just for retirements.
Board, if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion. So listen to that, no questions. There's a motion by Ms. Hornby, second by Mr. Rose to approve the $250 for early notification of retirement. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Hensley. Item number 2 is also an action item. Approve early disbursement in June for the 2026 stay pay.
Yes, sir. For this one, I want to just remind everyone related to our reason for stay pay, how it started and the term length for it. Stay pay was a retention incentive to encourage employees to remain with Mesquite ISD. It was made available through spring of 2026 for qualifying employees with 5-year increments of continuous full-time service. Eligibility for stay pay has been full-time employees with continuous uninterrupted service. The amount for professional employees was a $5,000 payment, and paraprofessionals and auxiliary employees was a $2,500 payment. Not eligible for stay pay were part-time employees, substitutes, and rehire employees. And also part-time service did not count towards eligibility. We're asking the board for the ability to make the final stay pay payment for eligible employees in the June 2026 paycheck, meaning the payment will occur in the 25-26 fiscal year or budget year. And this replaces the prior practice of paying in November of the following fiscal and/or budget year. Are there any questions?
Do we know how many employees how many that's gonna pay out?
Mr. Prado may have that information for us.
Just as a curious note, just wondering how many we're still in.
Good morning, President Carbo, Board of Trustees. We typically pay around $2.9 million a year. The final years seems to be a little higher on the final payout with approximately 920 employees divided between staff in terms of professional and non-professional. That would probably yield around $3.8 million. So the budget amendment, when it comes in February, will be for approximately that amount, but we're still refining those numbers, really scrubbing that data, and we'll have real data by the time we make the budget amendment proposal to you.
They've earned that already. Normally, we pay it after that, or just, this is another incentive in case they want to retire. They don't have to wait for that.
Yes, sir.
Normally, they would have to come back in the fall and then but since, in line with the previous action item, we're trying to get folks to make that decision now, right?
Yes, sir.
So we can kind of give us the tightrope that we're walking for the next 2 or 3 months, we can kind of get a little bit more stability.
Yes, sir, that is accurate. Just a point of clarification, if an employee retired from the district before they were going to be paid in November, they actually would have gotten paid at retirement.
Okay.
But employees who were not retiring would have to stay through November of the next year to receive it.
But we're eliminating that in case they want to make a decision to
Yes, sir.
do everything, okay?
Yes, sir.
That's why I understand it. Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Good.
Move
Board
to approve.
members? Well, Mr. Bingham. There's a motion by Mr. Bingham, a second by Mr. Everett, to approve the early disbursement in June for the 2026 state pay. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hensley. Third item is an action item to approve administrator request for approval of outside or personnel services. In this case, it's Mr. Cerrone Lacy. Dr. Rivera.
Yes, Mr. President. In accordance with House Bill 3372 passed for the 89th legislature, administrators cannot make additional dollars either from the district or another organization associated with the district. And this particular contract falls under, or this particular item falls into that category. We've had some discussions about this item. We tabled it in the last meeting. Some modifications have been made to the information provided in the last board meeting. And so I believe some clearance has been gained from that clarification. And it's in front of you in your books this morning for your approval. This is an action item.
Board members, this is an action item. We had discussion of this previously. We have the answer that we requested today. So with that, if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
This would be approved based on the advice of our general counsel.
Yes, sir.
Move to approve the request based on Mr. Thomas's recommendation.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Everett, second by Mr. Bingham, to approve administration request for approval of outside personnel services of Cerrone Lacy. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're done. Our agenda's covered, so thank you very much for being here this early. It's very appreciated. Thank you to the cabinet. And we'll see you later. We stand adjourned.